Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, sitting here live from the parking lot here as we're having a good time. I saw today that basically there is some exchange going on between TNA and, well, I guess now TNA is dead, so Impact Wrestling and Reby Hardy. Reby has taken to Twitter to basically start a Twitter battle to point out all the things that Impact Wrestling did wrong in their negotiations. The other day, Matt Hardy was upset that they did not show. I'm guessing it is the last edition of the Hardys in TNA on their quest to take over all the gold of tag teams around the world. I honestly thought that was a pretty entertaining segment each and every week on Impact. I actually wasn't watching Impact, but I did see them uploaded onto YouTube, and I checked them out that way. Honestly, to me, anything at least in the last year that has been Hardy related is honestly almost been must see. It's still really surprising that Impact would let Jeff and Matt walk as popular as they are in wrestling. When Jeff Hardy walked out of WWE when his contract ended, WWE thought that he was basically going to go sit on the sideline for a while, get healthy, and when he was ready to come back and wrestle for WWE. But he was approached by TNA, of course, at that time. Hogan and Bischoff were starting their reign of power there. He was brought in for the first edition of the Monday Night Wars of, I believe, 2010. And of course, was after his arrest, being dragged through the mud. But he was still a big star when he walked out of WWE on that last day. He was easily the second most popular wrestler in the United States. The only person more popular than him was John Cena. And he, went to Impact, and of course, that created a buzz. And I think a lot of people tuned into Impact just to follow Jeff Hardy because of how big of the fan of Jeff they were. Now with the Hardys leaving, I think that it's an honest, question that you can ask most wrestling fans if they can name 10 superstars that wrestle for Impact Wrestling. And I don't think many people could do it without saying, and making themselves look stupid. They are in a place where they are cutting a lot of costs. A lot of wrestlers are leaving the company. And they're bringing in a lot more wrestlers that are known, that do come at a more affordable rate. But to me, when it gets down to it, and I basically look at this, is the one thing that keeps running through my mind is the Hardys are really big stars, and they do have a lot to offer. When I made the video about the Hardys winning the ROH titles, and people saying that they signed ROH contracts, they're not going to WWE. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they did sign contracts to wrestle for ROH, but the contracts are basically just until WrestleMania weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Hardys do debut on the Raw after WrestleMania. That news has basically trickled out to where people think that is fact now, that people are going to see the Hardys and they are going to come out on Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania weekend to give it that big pop. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt and Jeff do go to Raw, because that is sort of where they stick the veteran wrestlers with big names to give that show a big push, to make it look like it is the A show. But with as deep as the tag team division is on SmackDown, good God, just think about the Hardys running with the American Alpha, or the Usos, or the other teams that are there. I mean, there's easily at least 6 really good tag teams in the SmackDown tag team division. But the thing that keeps running through my mind is that Reby Hardy is saying all these things, and they're running into the mud. Matt's saying some things. I haven't seen it yet, but I guess Matt did release the final Hardy segment that was supposed to be on Impact last night, but they chose not to show it. So Matt uploaded it to YouTube, so people would be able to see it. now Impact is saying that they're going to sue the Hardys, and this is not a good situation. Everybody can remember when the Dudleys came back, the Raw after SummerSlam. They were in the company for a year. Devon did move on and become an agent for the company, so he is still with the company. Bully Ray is now with ROH. No word if it is just a one-time appearance or a few appearances here or there, or if he's going to be there for a year. No word on what deal is really going down. To me, honestly, Bully Ray and ROH, I'm not really sure how well that's going to work long term. I think basically maybe short term here or there, but we'll see what happens from there. But when it comes down to it, the Dudleys are a big name and they have a lot to offer. Whether if that's being the tag team champs, which they never got to be, or if it's just mentoring some young tag teams. Their run only lasted a year. The Hardys are very popular, but what if they only have a deal for a year in WWF, and then Jeff and Matt don't really want to work the schedule because they want to be home with their families more? If they burn this bridge with TNA, where are they really going to go? I guess there is ROH, and then just becoming indies. But I mean, to me, it's debatable if Impact is the second most popular company in the United States. Who knows where they're going to be a year from now, or if it's ROH, or if it's anybody else that's out there. But to me, honestly, especially if Jeff Jarrett can work his magic and get back on Spike TV, I don't think they want to burn that bridge. I think they honestly would need to look back and just say, it is what it is. They're easily the most popular free agents there are in wrestling. If you go on any wrestling news site, people are talking about the Hardys each and every day. They don't need to be really picking up and throwing mud. Just by them leaving, and then, of course, Mike Bennett and Maria and Jade and all the other names that left within a 1 week period, that's enough to show wrestling fans what situation Impact Wrestling is in. So, they don't really need to be throwing mud backwards, because you never know when they're going to need somewhere to land to be able to work. And, if TNA does land this Spike TV deal, it's going to be one place that they really want to go back to someday maybe. So, we'll see what's going down. Peace out, everybody.